is LSC, local sports channel. We are here at Phoebus High School for the Phoebus Phantoms against the Hampton Crabbers. I'm Wube Gabre along with my partner Frank Edgar. We're going to go right to Frank with head coach of the Hampton Crabbers, Eric Brown.
I've got Coach Brown here. Coach, been up and down last week. What do you expect out of your team tonight here at Phoebus?
I expect us to come out, play hard, compete. We know the type of atmosphere it's going to be. I think we thrive in this type of atmosphere. You know, we're trying to build some consistency right now. We kind of had a little setback with all the time off, but I think we're getting ourselves together.
All right, what are you going to say out of your team tonight to make you happy? Win or lose, what makes you happy tonight?
What makes me happy, if we play together on offense, we move the ball, we move ourselves, we look to guard and be on the defensive glass. If we can do those things build for the future going into the postseason.
Well, very good. Congratulations on the good year so far, and we'll get you back to your team.
All right.
Coach Eric Brown. Thank you, Coach. All right, we're ready with the next one, Ube. Just a couple of questions.
Thank you, Frank. Now we're going to go over to the head coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, Mr. James Daniel.
Coach Daniel with me this afternoon. Coach, what do you expect out of your team tonight against a very good Hampton Crabber squad?
Well, I expect us to come out and respond to the intensity level they're going to bring. I think they're going to come based on the last game with a chip on their shoulder, so we got to beat the intensity level.
I asked Coach Brown, that's what I'm going to ask you. Win or lose, what will you be happy if you see out of your team tonight?
Well, you know, like I told Coach Brown earlier, the competition that we get with the Peninsula District is going to help us achieve a lot, and we get to conference and regional.
Let me ask you one final question. Has having Diamond Johnson play her games before yours increased your crowd?
Well, I would say it has, yes. She's a dynamic player.
I'm sorry the girls' team got her before you did.
Yes. We can use her.
Very good. Thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Coach James Daniel.
Thank you, Frank. We are back here at the desk. Phoebus can actually clinch the district title with a win. They're 15-3 overall, 13-1 in the district. So they can win the district tonight if they beat the Crabbers. The Crabbers coming in 10-3 in the district, 12-4 overall, as they are in second place in the Peninsula District. So this is a key matchup tonight here at Phoebus. The crowd's filling up, high atmosphere. Get a good look at the Crabbers as they went to the state semis last year they lost to Bethel over at HU. Frank?
As we squeeze in here, there's not a lot of room. As our friend from WVEC here, Scott Cash, he got my scorebook over there, partner, because we're ready to go here.
So, got a good talk with the coaches, Frank. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you, talking to two coaches like that, Wube, two long-standing Peninsula District coaches, two successful Peninsula District coaches. I'm always impressed by how good of coaching we have here on the Peninsula, and those two guys really have done a great job. You know, we didn't get to talk to Coach Walter Brower, who's the assistant coach at Hampton, the longtime head coach, now assistant coach. But I do like to see a little levity in him now before games, and he lets Eric Brown carry the worry.
Well, you know, he always has that smile, though. He's always smiling. He has his championships. Now he's just here helping out the program, and he's doing a great job helping out.
He's smiling now when he's dressed like he's going to get on a yacht here after the game. I can say that because I've known him a long time.
Right.
Coach Brower has instilled in Coach Brown a lot of lessons about basketball. And then Eric Brown is somebody to watch on the bench. Watch him deal with these young men. It's strong, it's loud, but it is all positive from him.
Well, the jacket's already off, so, I mean, he's already halfway there. He took the jacket off already, so he's ready to go.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the Crabbers coming in. While the Phantoms are at full speed, and you're going to see Antoine Miles tonight be the target and the big score for the Phantoms. The Crabbers come in a little shy on numbers. They have two players that are still out, and so will not see their tallest player, Yao Marquez tonight, but
they got a pleasant surprise, Frank. Last week they got a transfer from Bethel, of all places, their rival. Amir Devon transferred from Bethel, so he's going to be an immediate impact for them.
Well, he's going to get the start. He does not get the start tonight, but he will play a lot. He brings a lot of reach. He's a tall, thin young man, but he brings a lot of reach, and he can step in for Yao. So Coach Brown is right. The Crabbers thrown off a little bit about the snow break, and they with the players out, but they got the game, the win Friday night over Minchville at home. And they come in here and face this very good Phoebus team.
Well, like I said in the open, Frank, they can clinch a district title tonight with a win. They're 2.5 games over the Crabbers. So with a win tonight, they clinch the district.
So you're going to see, of course, we've got a packed house here at Phoebus, standing room only. Good shot of the Crabbers getting ready to go out on the floor now. Coach Brower to your lower left, Coach Brown in the shirt sleeves on the right. Have an assistant this year, a guy named Jordan Baker. For you fans that have followed Crabber basketball for a while, Baker is back after graduating from Old Dominion, playing 4 years over there. And he has been a big help to Coach Brown.
Was on that last state championship team, Frank, with Cat Barber and a few others, Sammy Royal, just to name a couple.
So this is the young man, Avon Hawkins, who's a three-point specialist. He can find his shot most any time and make it. Keyshawn Harris gets the start. Quick at guard, good hands. And then you're going to see a variety of tall fellas. James Harris and Hunter Mitchell both strong and good leapers. Do a nice job cleaning the glass. It's kind of Sammy Royal-esque, but taller than Sammy Royal was. And Zion Chapman really, he can lead his team at any given time. Great skill. Here come the Phantoms.
As they start, Corey Jackson, a sophomore. Antoine Miles, their super senior, Frank. Jamal Everett. Leach and Dominique Johnson, a transfer from Kickintan. One notable that's missing, Frank, is Kyrie Temple. He got hurt against Bethel. He's out for the year. He was a high flyer, and they're going to miss him. But Coach Daniel made sure I mentioned that they got a lot of good young guys that can step up and fill that void.
Jim Schaffner, our friend from Darling Stadium and retired teacher from Phoebus, doing the announcing here. As Dominique Johnson gets called, I think he constitutes two starters at his size. Antoine Miles gets the start.
Wayne Gomes is in his house at his alma mater.
Yep, the former Major League Baseball pitcher. Miles, very mild-mannered young man, guard. You see him standing next to all these big teammates. You don't expect him to do what he does, but last year you would have thought he played the 3 or the 4 at times. This year he's got a little help on the inside.
Yeah, again, they're missing Temple, one of their inside guys, but they got, you see, Zymir Rogers, football player, Dominique Johnson, who, again, he transferred from Kickintan a couple years ago. He's lost a lot of weight. He's in shape, and Coach Daniel said, look out for him tonight.
Well, Coach Daniel very happy with this squad, and why not? They lead the Peninsula District. They can cinch it tonight with a win. 15-3 overall. So a great Phantom squad here at home facing the Hampton Crabbers, chasing them for the Peninsula District title.
And the first time they played in December at Hampton, it was a thriller, 60-56 Phoebus.
Veteran crew of officials tonight to call this good game.
Well, Hampton gets the ball, goes off to Harris. Harris was a good backup last year with Stoddy Pitt, Marquise Godwin. He's a starter this year as a senior, guarded by Miles.
From Keyshawn 10, James Harris 14.
Hawkins over to Chapman. This football player as well, played a little bit of football this year.
The boxing one on Hawkins for a while. Nope, they go back to the quick to a man-to-man. They're trying to keep Hawkins from shooting the 3.
Inside is Mitchell.
Hunter Mitchell got plenty of time last year for the Crabbers. Puts them on the board. Antoine Miles brings the ball up.
Miles over to Jackson, the sophomore, kicks it back over to Miles. Miles goes into Everett. Dominique Johnson looks inside.
He saw Jamal Everett underneath, but couldn't make the pass. So turnover for the Phantoms. Zion Chapman going to throw it in to Keyshawn Harris.
Harris calling out the play. It's picked up by Everett.
Man-to-man D.
Over to Mitchell. Harris into Chapman, post up on Jackson. Good double team, good help.
That's where Keyshawn Harris has got to step up. If he can get that matchup and pull his man a little bit away, Chapman thinks he can take his defender, Jackson.
Harris looks inside. It's taken away by Miles into Dominique Johnson. Back over to Miles. Antoine Miles.
Antoine Miles, never seen a shot he doesn't like.
No good. Rebound, Dominique Johnson. The big body goes in, and it's good.
Hard to match up against a guy that weighs north of 250.
Again, he's a transfer from Kickintan. Lost a lot of weight. Looks good. Good size. Chapman calling out the play. Guarded by Jackson. Good screen by Mitchell. Jackson picks him back up. Inside to Harris. Back over to Chapman. Chapman fakes a three. They're going to call it travel.
First turnover for the Crabbers. So with the two players missing for the Crabbers, the rotation still fresh, and you'll see a lot of different pieces come in during the game. But Eric Brown's going to look for Zion Chapman to lead his squad.
Miles inside. Good pass by Johnson to Everett. They're going to call.
Great D that time by James Harris. You'll see James Harris, Hunter Mitchell, and Amir Devone start to rotate in the 4 and 5 spot for the Crabbers.
Chapman over to Harris. Hawkins over to Chapman. Chapman for three. Good.
Both teams feeling each other out a little bit, Wu Bei.
And rightfully so. You know, different defenses are switching a lot of things. Jackson. Over to Leach. Dominique Johnson with the jumper. And he's got two quick buckets, Frank.
If he can hit that shot, he's going to be mighty tough.
Chapman fakes the three. Good D by Jackson.
Hawkins trying to get free. Good defense by Jamal Everett on him. There's Hawkins with the ball.
Everett. That's Chapman for another three.
Well, they're covering Hawkins, trying to keep him from shooting the threes. Akeem Hicks coming in for the Phantoms at the next whistle.
8-4 Hampton. Three is no good.
That's a great rebound by Everett.
Jackson fakes the three, goes in. Good block by
James Harris.
Yeah. As Leach gets it back. Stolen by
yeah.
Harris. Harris goes down. Reach him by Miles, no call. That's a three-point specialist right there. He gets good pickup defense by Phoebus. Harris with a no-look into Mitchell. Mitchell is blocked, but they're going to call a foul on Jamal Everett.
So the first foul called on Jamal Everett. Hunter Mitchell on the line now for the Crabbers on that beautiful pass. He hits the first one. And Akeem Hicks in.
Senior Akeem Hicks in. And Groggins, the tight end on the football team, comes in for Hampton, along with number 44, that's Cedric Barnes.
So they brought Hawkins and Chapman out to rest and talk. Fourth point for Mitchell there. And Amir Devone in for Harris.
Of course,
3 new players.
again, Devon, the newest of the new, just came over from Bethel a week ago, and he's eligible to play right away for this Crabber team. Miles for 3, no good. Rebound, Groggins.
Groggins is somebody you want to watch. He's the most athletic big man you've seen in a while.
Oh, good move by Mitchell into Barnes. Barnes with a floater. It's good.
Good passing. But the Groggins players.
Barnes looking like a lineman. It's quick feet, agile.
Well, the big men have. Well, watch Johnson there. We're talking about quick feet.
Might look like they have a little double team like we saw in the girls game earlier. Groggins and Harris came out on Miles. As Miles shoots a 3, makes it anyway, Frank.
Out there in Diamond Johnson territory.
And it looks like Hampton is playing a similar defense as the girls when Miles gets it out front on the 3-point line. Harris guarded by Hicks. Harris, that's senior leadership. Over to Devon. Devon over to Barnes. Hunter Mitchell gets it back to Harris. Harris gets it over to Devon. Devon for 3. No good. Rebound Hicks. Hicks and Miles go up for it. Hicks gets it. They're going to call it travel on Miles.
Good defense by Groggins. Groggins will fool you. He's much quicker and he can jump much higher than he looks.
Looks a lot. He's a lot more athletic than he looks. You're right.
Well, we saw him. We called his games when he was a freshman linebacker, and he's an impressive football player. But seeing him without the pad, you'll see just how athletic he is.
Yeah, Mike Smith used him in a lot of different ways on the football field this year. Harris gets a screen by Barnes. Barnes with the roll. Good block by Johnson. No call. Miles gets it off of the miss. Miles going left. Picks it up. Good defense by Chapman. Over to Hicks. Hicks gets it over to Miles. Miles with a brace on his left knee. Groggins backs up. Screen by Everett. Miles, good pass over to that's Leach. Almost went in for the jam.
Not only great pass, but a no-look pass, trusting that his man Leach was going to be right there. Devon picks up his first. And Leach to the line. Shooting 2 for the Phantoms. 12-7 Crabbers here.
First shot by Leach is good. Eric Brown going to his bench a lot earlier than usual.
Well, you see just a rotation, and they're going to rotate probably 7 players tonight, maybe 8. And that's all they have in uniform is 8. Johnson, and Leach misses the second. 4-point lead for the Crabbers, and Devon brings the ball up.
Devon with the ball, guarded by Leach. Screen by Barnes. He's a good screener. Over to Chapman. Chapman for another 3. He is good. Is he 3 for 3?
3 for 3 from 3-point line.
Well, Chapman more of a streaky shooter, and he goes in for the steal and almost gets it.
And then Hicks looks back to Coach Daniel like, hey, I shouldn't have thrown that. And I'm sure Coach Daniel said that's correct. Miles way outside. Not quite the defense the Crabbers played on Frank Mason years ago when he was at Petersburg in the state championship game. Held him to a cool
Miles
30.
Almost shot from the logo, Frank. That's Hicks for 3. Almost goes in as Leach gets it. They're going to call that interference. Basket interference by Leach. He wants a dunk. He's been going up a couple times to get it.
So no basket, Crabber ball underneath. Substitution in now. Then Antoine Edwards Jr., number 22.
Comes in for Dominic Johnson.
Big man gets a blow here, 7 or 6.5 in.
Lamir Devon over to Groggins. Hawkins. Oh, back over to Devon. Barnes sending some great screens. Groggins is going to shoot the 3. That's going to be off. Rebound by by Leach.
He is not afraid to take that 3-pointer.
Over to Hicks. Almost a little confusion there. And Miles can actually shoot that.
He's up at the 15-foot line in the volleyball game, or 12-foot line. What do they call that?
Edwards going left. Good move by Edwards with the left hand. No good. Everett went in there and got a rebound.
Stunned that's not an offensive foul, but it's a good rebound when it's not called. Everett goes to the line. Devon gets his second. And you'll see them start to rotate now. Here comes Hunter Mitchell back in. And James Harris.
Yep.
And they'll rotate the big men.
You know, Devon is actually him coming at the right time, Frank, with the two guys not playing for the Crabbers.
Yeah, with Yao out.
We'll see what happens when Yao comes back in. That's a 3 by Hicks. No good. Tipped around, and Mitchell finally gets it over to Chapman. Chapman goes to the goal strong, almost going for the dunk, but it's blocked.
I think the foul could be called on Everett. Let's see. Yep, it's on Everett, who nobody saw. The block was good, but it was on Everett underneath.
He was going for that jam, Frank.
Yeah, that's his second foul on Everett. Zion Chapman to the line. He's got 9 1/4.
First shot by Chapman is good.
Zion Chapman had a little slow shooting night against Menchville on Friday night. Looks like he's been working out all weekend. Here comes Zymir Rogers.
Former quarterback, moved the receiver this past year on the football squad.
Well, he keeps growing. He's going to move to center on a basketball team.
He's about 6'5". Second shot by Chapman is off.
Rebound,
Groggins. The rebound, blocked by Leach. Groggins gonna go baseline. Good defense by Leach over to Hawkins. They're gonna call it travel.
Hawkins a little frustrated. He can't find that open space to get his shot off tonight.
He's definitely a shooter, Frank. He can shoot it.
16-8 Crabbers here with 24 seconds to go.
16-8 Hampton. Edwards over to Hicks. Back over to Edwards. Groggins looks like they're playing a matchup zone. Going to a man. Hicks, skip pass over to Miles. Miles for 3, good. No, in and out. Rogers with a rebound, puts it back down. And he's lucky. At 6'6", you never want to put it that low.
Well, they scored and draws it within 6. 16-10 in there the first quarter. Well, one thing, Miles with just one basket, a 3-pointer from way outside, and he, like his female counterpart on the girls team here, but all focused on these long 3-pointers. We haven't seen his athleticism yet, and you'll see it here in the second quarter because I'm sure Coach Daniel will remind him of the drive.
Well, I mentioned earlier, Hampton boys are playing basically the same defense. Whenever Miles gets it, they're going to try to do a double team or a trap every time Miles gets it out high. So 16-10 Hampton, Frank. And with only 8 guys, you want to see if fatigue becomes a factor with the Crabbers.
Well, that's it. I've seen them play just a week ago, and they seem to hold up pretty well against a very aggressive and athletic Menchville squad that has suffered the loss of their head coach in December, Ben Moore. Now Lamont Struthers taking over full time, by the way.
Yeah, I just saw that today. He was going back and forth between Smithfield and Menchville.
He's done a great job with Menchville and brought that team around. They got Amir Hawkins, who's just a dead-eye shooter up there in Newport News. Here go the Phantoms, trailing it by 6. They get the ball first.
Edwards over to Hicks, the senior point guard. Picked up by Hawkins. Hicks has nowhere to go. Over to Edwards. Good defense by Harris. He finds Miles around the Phoebus Phantom logo, and he's double-teamed. Both Harris is actually over there. Edwards for 3, no good. Hicks flies up and gets it. Good rebound by Hicks.
Real good rebound. Good body on Hawkins, who's going to come out and talk about that in the next dead ball.
Hicks, good crossover, but Hawkins is right there.
Double dribble.
Leach gives a screen. Edwards, shooter. No good. Again, another rebound by Leach.
Leach has been impressive.
Hicks, he's got to shoot it. He pump fake. Shot by Hicks is no good. Air ball. Harris with the rebound. Skip over to Hawkins, who misses it. Zymir Rogers with the rebound.
First shot of the night by Avon Hawkins.
Hicks. Hampton doing a lot of trapping. Doesn't matter who has the ball, Frank. Miles not letting him even touch the base. They haven't
gone to his side. They leave him alone over there. Nice look inside by Hicks, but blocked away by Keyshawn Harris.
He was looking for Leach inside. Haven't seen Dominic Johnson in a while.
Leach has played very well since he came in the game.
Made timeout Phoebus.
30-second timeout taken.
We have a timeout on the court with 6:33 left in the half. This one turns to
If you look at the roster, Frank, only 4 seniors on the Phoebus squad. They have a lot of promising young talent, and we've been saying that for the last few years.
Well, Miles is the one that really makes them go, and I can't overstate that. He was 1 bucket on, what, 2 or 3 shots.
Almost looked like he's trying to figure out the defense and pace himself a little bit.
Well, and the offense has gone to the opposite side against his own defense, which surprises me.
So Phoebus is going to inbound Edwards. Inbound to Leach. Leach over to Hicks. Hicks over to Antoine Miles, guarded by Chapman.
This could be the matchup right here. You see
Air
the extra
ball.
spring, though, out of his on his jump shot. First time we've seen his jumper.
Edwards, spin move, goes left. Groggins with great defense. Rogers getting in there, getting the ball, and it's going to be picked up by Chapman.
Groggins will get the ball. You just tell him to get it, he'll get it. He's as hard-nosed on the hardwood as he is on the field.
Groggins guarded by Miles into Harris, over to Q Harris. Groggins jumper, that's not his game, but he was open, so he took it. Rebound Leach over to Hicks. Hicks, little crossover dribble. Harris right there. Edwards thought about it, but Groggins picks him up.
And there's Chapman keeping his eye on Antoine Miles on the far side of the court.
Rogers jumper. It's no good. Rebound Chapman. He just skies for the rebound. Over to Groggins. Groggins, the pump fake is going to be called for traveling.
Substitution for both squads. Back in is Dominique Johnson. Zymer Rogers gets a breather. So now Leach and Johnson in for the Phantoms. That poses a pretty strong underneath
And number
contingent.
12, Simeon White, sophomore, comes in for Phoebus. Antoine Miles
First time on the right side here.
over to Leach. Looking for Johnson, steal by Harris.
And a foul on Miles as he had to try to slow down the train. His first. Very low foul game tonight. 3 on Phantoms, 2 on Hampton.
Timeout Hampton. Will be a 30-second timeout for the Crabbers.
Eric Brown goes to the familiar whiteboard, the dry erase board. Not a whiteboard because it's got a basketball court drawn on it. But he goes to that every halftime. He doesn't, you know, some coach groups, they get together and talk before a timeout. And I mean, so with the 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Eric Brown knows what he wants to say.
He
when
doesn't
calls
talk to
the
anybody.
timeout.
He talks
Yeah.
to his team, and that's
He
it.
and Coach Brower have worked together so long. They got a couple other coaches. Jordan Baker, of course, learning a lot as a young man.
I mean, you love to see that. Guys coming back to their alma mater, helping out the younger guys. You know, these kids were probably, in middle school when they won the state championship, so.
Trying to get a little more offense out of Avon Hawkins, I'm sure. See if they got a little play for him.
Harris, inbound over to Hawkins, back over to Harris.
There he is. Guarded by Miles. So they're not going to let Hawkins beat him.
Hawkins thought about it. Harris, skip pass over to Chapman. Guarded by White. Chapman goes into the goal. Pull-up jumper by Chapman is no good. Leach with the rebound. Over to Hicks. Hicks stolen by Chapman. Chapman's going to try to go for this reverse, and he's fouled by Leach.
First foul on Leach, who's played a marvelous game under the board.
Leach is very aggressive under the boards.
Long reach on Leach. And Dr. Seuss calling the game here, but he's played very strong. He came in as a sub and he's played very well. No, I'm sorry, came back in and they've told him to go get the boards and he's done it.
He's done his job.
Chapman. Chapman now with 11. You know, thank goodness we have headphones on so this noise is not so bad for us. Chapman drains 2. He's 3 for 4 in free throws and then 3 3-point shots.
18-10 Hampton.
Good steal out there. A hand by Chapman or Hawkins. Couldn't see it.
Chapman, good steal by
that was a big man, Dominique Johnson.
The lob over to Leach. Leach is going to go for the dunk. No, he goes for the layup.
His first basket, good decision. Eric Brown's going to make a change. When he gets mad, gets mad just.
Harris, good layup as he gets it.
Keyshawn Harris' first basket tonight. Well, back and forth here between these two good teams.
Hicks inside to Johnson, tipped away by Harris.
Johnson's going to stay in that lane until you push him out. James Harris going to check in. Cedric Barnes going to go over and have a discussion.
Well, I mean, he set some good screens.
There's Miles way out.
No good.
Too far out, not enough ball movement. That's what Coach Daniel will tell him at halftime.
Harris guarded by Hicks. Hawkins off the little slide screen.
Hawkins down with Simeon White on him. That may be a chance for him to kind of break loose. There he is.
Hawkins for 3. No good.
The rainbow shot misses.
Leach. Over to Miles. Miles going to the goal. Up and under move.
There's the Miles I've been expecting.
Just letting the game come to him, it seems like.
First time he's driven to the basket. And you notice the spin on that little underhand layup after he's fouled. Foul was on Mitchell, wasn't it?
Miles' free throw is no good. Rebound Mitchell.
Miles cannot convert the free throw.
Harris. Again, Hicks playing great defense. Chapman goes to the goal with a left hand. No good. Johnson with the rebound. They're going to call, it looks like.
It's going to be. Zion Chapman picks up his first foul. Four fouls apiece now on these two clubs. Antoine Miles way out now. Hawkins on him.
A screen by Leach. You see Chapman come up. Dominique Johnson, he hit one there before and hits another one.
Johnson now with 6. He's the leading scorer for his team. It's the second one from the free throw extended area.
Harris in the goal. Quick hands by Dominique Johnson. Almost a travel. Good defense by Phoebus. 3 seconds is going to be the call.
No, I stepped on the out of bounds
line.
No, Harris, James Harris and Hunter Mitchell are cannon on underneath for rebounding and quick passes. Both of them are very good at receiving a pass and making a layup. That time just a little too much. 4-point lead for the Crabbers.
Hicks for 3, no good. Look at Everett.
That's Leach.
Leach.
Leach is terrific on the boards tonight.
Harris has Dominique Johnson as a mismatch.
And he missed Hawkins.
They're going to clear out. As he gives it to Chapman. Harris. This time he's going to take Hicks to the goal. They're going to call an offensive foul on Harris.
Well, Harris at times will get frustrated, and there he did. He tried to set up that clear out before, it didn't work. That time a little too aggressive, his first foul.
Dominique Johnson inside, gets it taken away. It's White throwing it up there. Miles with the ball after playing a little volleyball on the glass. It's Leach. Leach goes in with the layup and it's good. As it gets around Groggins.
Leach and Johnson right now dominating underneath. They brought their team back. Between the two of them, they got 11 points.
2018 Hampton, 1:10 left in the half. It's going to be a turnover by the Crabbers.
White's played some nice minutes for these Phantoms.
Jalen.
There you go. Nice tip away by
Jernett
Mitchell.
in the game.
Hawkins desperately.
Harris gets it taken away. It's going to be too far for Miles.
Eric Brown not happy with his guard combination right now. Yeah, he's going to change James Harris. For Mitchell. You got Hawkins on the bench too.
Small bench tonight, so he has to keep rotating a lot of players.
Yeah, he's got to get Keyshawn Harris to settle down here.
Groggins looks at Chapman. Over to James Harris. Harris over to Keyshawn Harris. Back over to Groggins. Groggins looking over at the bench. 30 seconds left. They're up 2. Groggins not sure what to do with it. Leach is checking him.
Getting his play called. Now he's got it. And he's going to wait till the designated time, which is going to be around 10 seconds.
Coach Brown is saying hold the ball. Groggins skip pass. That's Jernett. Jernett with in the Harris. James Harris with a jumper, no good. And it's going to end the half.
Well, they got the shot they wanted. Couldn't put it in. But the Crabbers hold on to a 2-point lead going into halftime. So 20-18 here. We'll be back in a few minutes with the second half of this exciting game. Well, we're back here at Phoebus High School for the second half of the exciting boys game between the Phoebus Phantoms and the Hampton Crabbers. The Crabbers lead it by 2 in a low-scoring game, Wube.
Very low scoring. Not what we thought. We thought it'd be a little bit more scoring, but the defense has played really well, and you know Hampton has held Antoine Miles to a season low to 5 points.
Now on that Phoebus side, Miles with 5, Leach with 5, Dominique Johnson though the big man in the middle with 6. Over on the Crabber side, Zion Chapman 3 3-pointers, 3 free throws, 12 points to lead his squad. Hunter Mitchell with 4, Barnes with 2, Keyshawn Harris with 2. Zymir Rogers for Phantoms chipped in 2 as well. So 4 scores per team. We'll see if that expands here.
Well, with this being the first time we've seen Phoebus this year on TV, I'm really impressed by the guys knowing their roles. Everybody's playing their roles though tonight.
Yeah, both teams playing within their system. You know, the Crabbers throw about 100 different defenses at you, and they've thrown a few on Miles. Miles with 1 3-pointer and then a drive that resulted in an almost 3-point play, missed the free throw. Crabber ball here to start the second half. They lead it by 2, 20-18 in a very low-scoring high school basketball game.
2018 Hampton as Hawkins goes over to Chapman.
Remember, Hawkins with only 1 shot in the first half.
Devon starts the second half, and he's stripped by Miles. We said off camera that Miles was going to have to step up. He misses the layup, rebound by Harris.
And they're going to let him play here in this second half.
Hawkins for 3. They're going to call it travel on Hawkins.
I'm not sure he watched his feet, but Hawkins does not. He hits the basket, but it's no good. Called a jump. Eric Brown thought it was a jump stop. It was a travel. So still 20-18, Phoebus ball.
So
here's Corey Jackson.
Corey Jackson, good look. Actually, a look. Harris with the steal, layup, good by Harris.
Keyshawn Harris with his 4th point.
Hakeem Hicks inside to Leach. Leach turnaround, good.
Leach, 5 in the first half. Now it's 7. He's been the strongest man on the board for both teams tonight.
Very active. Chapman, guarded by the sophomore Jackson. Chapman goes left, over to Hawkins. Hawkins over to Devon, the Bethel transfer. Harris.
Hawkins still looking for his open 3.
He's not going to get it with Miles on him. Good defense by Miles. Into Hunter. Blocked by Johnson. That was Hunter Mitchell with the shot. Johnson with the block over to Hicks.
Johnson getting much more athletic. He's camped in the middle there, starting to get his mail in there, but no call.
Jackson for three, off the mark. Rebound by Harris. As Miles skied over him, tried to get the rebound. Harris brought it down. Over to Chapman for three, off the glass. Did he call it?
It counts. 4 3-pointer for Chapman. Hampton by 5.
25-20. Miles fakes the three, goes baseline, misses. He's fouled, no call. Devon with the rebound. He pushes it over to Chapman. Chapman's feeling it. Over to Hawkins. Hawkins takes a three. It's going to be an air ball. Rebound by Jackson. He looks up. He sees Miles. Miles goes in for the layup, and it's good.
It's a mistake by the Crabbers. They do the air ball, and that gives the Phantoms a chance to get the outlet pass and then down to Miles.
Harris over to Hawkins. Hawkins, like you said, hasn't gotten a good look yet. It's funny, the both times that he's made his threes, they've called travels. Groggins comes in for Hawkins.
Hawkins going to have a few words with Eric Brown, kind of get reminded of things. Getting a young player.
Oh, almost a backcourt by Groggins, but gets his feet back. That's why he's a tight end on the football field. Over to Devon, guarded by Leach. Devon tries to pass over to Harris, tip by Jackson, skip pass over to Mitchell. Mitchell goes with a good pump fake, tries to get it over Johnson. He gets the rebound and puts it in.
There's Hunter Mitchell doing the thing they can do now. Eric Brown's going to talk to his team. Another 30-second timeout taken by the Crabbers.
So timeout Hampton.
Scott Cash from WVUC here with his camera. Back then they used to bring a whole camera crew and Scott could just walk around with the microphone, but not anymore.
He's got to do everything.
About driving the truck in here himself. There, good shot by Steve Fryer. Where's our friend Rob Robinson? It's a Phoebus event. Where is he?
He's probably somewhere in the building. Haven't seen him yet.
I'll check my milk carton at home, see if he's on there. Rob, we miss you. Good looking crowd here tonight. It's a lot of fun. These Hampton Phoebus matchups, always a lot of fun. And the teams, when they come in with as good a teams as they had this year, make it extra special.
That's 27-22.
James Daniels trying to get the ball to Miles a little more. That's easy enough.
Miles for three. Not on his game tonight from three. Devon with the left hand dribble, and he's going to be stripped by Jackson. Not strong enough with the ball. Jackson goes in for the layup. Groggins tips it as Leach gets the ball.
I think
no
the
basket interference that time.
Basket tipped in by Devon. 8 for Leach now, as he has been all over the boards.
Yes, he has. Chapman pull-up jumper on Jackson, no good. Gets his own rebound, floater off the mark. Miles gets it, goes by Devon. Look how quick Miles is. Split by Miles.
Foul called on Chapman, his second. And that sends Miles to the line. See how quick Antoine Miles is. He took his team to what, the state finals last year? Wasn't it the finals and they lost? And he hits first. 8 now for Antoine Miles.
They lost in the semifinals. Norcom ended up winning the 3A.
Semifinals.
But
Phoebus was impressive in that playoff run last year, and Antoine Miles led the way.
And they'll be back in that run again this year, Frank. With Norcom taking a hit, lost a lot of seniors, so Phoebus is one of the favorites in 3A. As Groggins brings the ball, if Miles tries to go with a strip, Groggins picks up his dribble, goes to Chapman, fakes to Chapman, goes into Harris.
Tell you, the defensive intensity of both ends of the floor is tremendous. You really got to be here to see it. I hope it shows on TV.
Harris goes inside to Mitchell. Mitchell with a good seal for the two.
That's what Mitchell and Harris can do. Make a catch, make a layup, and those good passes from Keyshawn Harris and Zion Chapman make it easy. Miles.
Bounce pass over to Jackson. Jackson blocked by Mitchell. They're going to call a foul.
If Mitchell doesn't swing, he probably gets the block, no foul, but he swung at it, and that's going to send Jackson to the line.
Corey Jackson, sophomore.
Trying to get in the scorebook. He's came into the sub.
Jamal Everett is going to come in for for Leach.
Give Leach a blow. I have a feeling Leach will be off the floor for a few minutes and then back in, and he'll finish the fourth quarter. He's got a lot of endurance. A little smaller team for the Phantoms here.
Second shot by Jackson is good, so it's 29-26. Hampton still up by 3, Frank. Simeon White is checking Harris as Chapman went baseline, got cut off.
Yeah, Chapman saved Harris on a turnover.
Inside to Harris. Harris, good move. Is it going to call a foul on Jamal Everett, the junior?
So board against number 24.
He just caught it on 32. 24, they got it right. It's Everett, but it's his third foul. This sends Harris to the line. James Harris looking to get in the scorebook himself. Not a great free throw shooter, but got to the end of the game the other night and made 2.
This is his first coming on board, number 22, Antoine Edwards.
Well, Edwards comes in for Jackson.
I tell you, when you're at the game, you also hear the dulcet tones of Jim Schaffner calling the play, the PA here. And
Makes us miss football season even more.
It really does. Voice of Darling Stadium.
Miles, good crossover inside, splits the defense with a floater. It's good.
Good defense by Groggins, but nothing he could do, because that was a wonderful shot by Antoine Miles, who's starting to heat up.
Letting the game come to him, Frank. Doesn't force much. Harris guarded by Edwards. 30-28 Hampton. 3:15 left in the third quarter. Low scoring battle here. Chapman thought about the 3, got a screen from Harris, goes inside to Mitchell. Mitchell turnaround, no good. Rebound, Dominique Johnson kicks it out to Simeon White.
Phantoms dominating the board tonight. Leach and Johnson in particular. And that's against a good rebounding Crabber team.
Miles picks up his dribble, thought about the 3, over to Dominique Johnson. Johnson, lazy pass. Everett for 3, he's open, he hits it. 31-30 Phoebus.
Edwards with a 3. And the Phantoms move ahead by a point.
Mitchell with a screen for Harris. Harris goes left. Left hand swipe by Dominique Johnson. Too late.
Nice shot. He had to go way high over the hand of Dominique Johnson.
Edwards, dangerous pass over to Miles. Miles behind the back. Picked up by Harris. Chapman. Oh, Edwards almost set his feet for that 3. White bobbles it, picks it back up over to Edwards. Edwards is that shooter. This time he hits off the mark. Goes into Everett. Jamal Everett misses it, and White charged in there and knocked it out of his own player's hands. Harris, almost a carry.
There's no room for the timid inside tonight. They're
No
not
way.
gonna get any calls. Groggins normally would have shot that. I think Coach had talked him into waiting a little bit.
Harris picked up by Miles. 1:48 left. 32-31 Hampton. Harris goes in. Good defense by Miles.
Now watch Mitchell and James Harris collapse. Harris goes out to Mitchell.
Mitchell. Good defense
Look
by
for
Edwards
each other.
over to James Harris. James Harris goes baseline, tipped out by Miles. Inside to Mitchell. Mitchell gets open and scores on the layup. 34-31.
With 10 now for Mitchell.
1:20 left, third quarter. Simeon White inside to Dominique Johnson. He's fouled. They're going to call it on the floor.
I think it could be on Chapman. Nope, it's on number.
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul on Simeon White. James Daniel disagrees with that. That's a tough call. Hawkins back in, Leach back in.
I didn't see it, Frank, but that's what
Tough call.
Mr. Whitley called.
They haven't called much tonight. Both teams with 2 team fouls here in the third quarter.
34-31 Hampton. Another close game, just like the first time they met. 60-56 win for Phoebus in December. Groggins spin move. They're going to call a travel on Groggins.
Tough calling tonight. Eric Brown can't believe it. James Daniel's still mad.
It's 2 interesting calls, I'll say, Frank.
Yep.
So it's 34-31. Edwards for 3. Good. He can shoot it.
Edwards now with 2 threes in the quarter. Tie ball game. Crabbers with the ball and less than a minute to play in the third quarter. Good shooting by Antoine Edwards Jr.
Groggins guarded by Leach. 25 seconds left, 34-34.
Same way they did the end of the first half. They're gonna do it right here. Let Groggins wait. Eric Brown talking to himself as always. I'd love to get a recorder and see what he says.
Groggins with a crossover, pull-up jumper by Groggins, no good.
Right on line to Schlong.
Rebound by Miles as he skied up. They're gonna call a jump ball.
Phantom ball with 4 seconds. Groggins had the shot. It was just a little bit long.
It's a good move by
A little bit short and it rolled over. So Phantom's got to go the whole court in 4 seconds. Brown says, let's press him a little bit.
Half-court shot by Miles, and he makes it. Half-court shot.
Miles makes it and brings down the house here. They move ahead 37-34. Antoine Miles with 8 points in the quarter, 13 for the game for Miles, but the big shooter also his teammate Antoine Edwards is 6 in the quarter.
So impressed how composed he plays, Frank. Doesn't force much, just lets the game come to him. And that huge three at the buzzer puts Phoebus up by 3 going into the fourth quarter.
Eric Brown's gonna have to tell him to shake that off. Ball, I believe, belongs to the Crabbers coming in. Didn't the Phantoms just get it? We'll
Yeah,
see.
they did.
got the
Should be
arrow up.
Hampton's possession.
Yep. So both teams getting ready for a wild fourth quarter. Just 19 points scored in the third quarter alone for the Phantoms. They had 18 at halftime. For the Crabbers, 14 scored. Outscored by 5 in that quarter. We'll expect another wild finish here at Phoebus High School.
8 minutes left of regulation, Frank. It could go to overtime of the way these games have been lately between the Hampton Crabbers and the Phoebus Phantoms.
Crabber ball, they got it right.
Harris goes into Chapman. Simeon White, the sophomore guard, gets the assignment of checking Chapman.
Nice minutes. Nothing from Avon Hawkins all night. He's in the game, guarded by Miles.
Harris, good move by Harris as he's fouled by, it looks like Dominique Johnson.
Johnson's first foul of the ball game. Hunter Mitchell going to check back in for the shooter.
Johnson showing his range earlier, Frank, with those 2 jumpers, foul line extended.
With 6 points.
Harris, free throw's good. Steady Harris. Doesn't show much emotion, Frank, just does his job. Again, he was a backup last year on that great team that Hampton had.
Well, to make a deep run, he's going to have to limit his turnovers. He gets excited every now and then and turns the ball over. Chapman kind of plays at that excited level, but Harris needs to settle. 2 free throws, though, make it a 1-point game.
37-36 Phoebus. A huge 3 at the buzzer from half court by Miles, put him up by 3. But the Harris 2 free throws puts him down 1. Harris for 3. He's starting to heat up.
Miles with 2 3-pointers in a row in 30 seconds. You see him now. In the beginning of the game, he was not leaving his feet on those long shots. Now he is.
Harris, jump shot, no good. Rebound by Hunter Mitchell. Good play by Hunter Mitchell. Tip in by Harris. Harris gets, as Miles picks it up. Miles goes in. They're going to call a foul on Harris. Going to be on the floor.
That's behind the play, too. Foul
Active
called
hands
on Keyshawn Harris.
Active hands on the other end, Frank. Just couldn't put it in.
Well, that's really the strength of Mitchell and Harris, and they've got to put that ball back. Of course, they go in there with Johnson, who's a big man.
Edwards had the hot hand in the third quarter. Miles, screen by Johnson. Miles for 3, no good. Harris with the rebound.
And he's going to settle it down there. 4-point lead for the Phantoms.
Groggins, guarded by Leach. Gets a screen by James Harris. Goes left. Goes left on Leach and gets it. Kareem Groggins.
With his first bucket of the game. Here comes Miles.
Miles going down to the goal. They're going to call a foul, and he was shooting in the act of shooting.
14 is James Harris, his first foul. So again, the fouls pick up now as Miles starts to push the pace.
First free throw by Miles is no good.
16 for Antoine Miles. And a very reserved night. Again, Crabbers have got to get Avon Hawkins a couple of shots here in the fourth.
Second free throw, no good. So, oh, and Leach comes down awkward. Hopefully he's okay as he gets right up.
They call that foul on Chapman. I don't understand that at all. I don't know how the man can land on the other man and call foul. That's his third foul. Chapman is arguing his case. He's not going to win it. He's going to stay in the game, though. That is absolutely puzzling.
Inbound from White. White into Jamal Everett. Leach for three, no good. Harris goes up for the rebound. They're going to call over the back. Looks like it's going to be on Everett.
Yeah, it's going to be on 24, Jamal Everett, his fourth by my count. Only one in foul trouble.
Just been
a 2-point game.
Fresh pizza at concession stand must sell fresh pizza before they.
Marty Bryan is covering the game tonight for the Peninsula. Kate Yanchulis goes back home, Frank.
Yep, the Daily Press has got its longtime Bay Rivers guy reporting on the game. Good to see Marty. Walk called on Groggins. Same official. Wow, it's just both coaches, I think, scratching their heads. They don't have any hair up there, so they're scratching their heads a little bit.
There isn't much to scratch, but I know they're wondering what's going on with a few of these calls late in the game as well.
A 2-point game here.
Hicks thought about the three. Good steal by Harris as Miles gets it back. Miles goes in for the layup, no good. Leach gets it, and he is fouled.
Leach, another impressive display on the boards in this quarter.
So 42-38. Phoebus now up by 4. Plenty of time left. Free throw was good by Leach.
12 points for Detian Leach. 5-point lead for the Phantoms.
Harris crossover. Try to get a screen from Hunter Mitchell. Chapman is pushed, no call. Back over to Mitchell. Back to Chapman.
You practically got to knock each other out to get a call here.
Mitchell back over to Groggins. Groggins almost loses it. Tries to go between the legs. Good defense by Phoebus. That's a steal by Leach.
And a bad pass.
And almost a dunk by Leach, but he lays it in. Gonna be a timeout, Hampton.
Eric Brown's gonna take a full timeout here. He is not happy. He's not gonna be happy with Groggins on that kind of a weak pass. Again, Hawkins really has been the one that's missing tonight. They cannot get him the open shot. They had 4 3-pointers Friday night against Mitchell, all from the baseline. So a 7-point lead now for the Phantoms.
2 bad possessions for Hampton. The Groggins looks like he lost to try to go between the legs on a double team.
Well, again, trying to do a little too much, and it cost them. Instead of going with the team, and the Crabbers have built their success on team. They've had good players, very good players, but they've never had other than Cat Barber, a great player, but even Barber had to play within the system to be successful.
And was still not a McDonald's All-American playing in the system.
Yeah, well, we're watching Antoine Miles here do his thing tonight. He is quietly but single-handedly brought his team back. He's getting great help from his big men, Leach and Johnson. And they're now just going to try to hang on to this 7-point lead with 5:35 to go in the fourth.
Been very impressed with Leach. Very active on the boards.
Well, long arms, not much of a leaper. That's twice he's had a chance to dunk it. He's really not much of a leaper, but he's got great body position. Reminds me a lot of Dave Cowens from the old Boston Celtics days. Just good body position. For those of you younger, probably a Charles Barkley-like rebounder. Uses his hips, fanny, very well.
Chapman trying to go baseline, cut off by White.
Hawkins way too far out.
Groggins over to Chapman. Carter.
Groggins actually has Leach man-to-man, and I would think he could take advantage of that. Probably a little gun shy.
Hawkins. Reach in by Miles. Hawkins for the floater. No good. Rebound by James. Look at James Harris go up. Chapman for three. Good. Good rebound by James Harris.
Really was. And that's, again, Harris and Mitchell. That's their job.
45-41. Phoebus.
Here comes a press.
Going to try to press Simeon White. He gets it off to Leach. Leach over to Everett. Everett back over to White as they hold it off. As Hampton comes in with a trap.
Well, it's a nice play by Leach to help out.
And there's a steal by Hampton.
Not
Phoebus
quite.
gets it back.
It's one of those games where it's moved so fast you can't assume, because their hands are so quick out there.
You're right.
Hawkins out, Harris back in. Harris and Mitchell now underneath for the Crabbers with Groggins.
White over to Miles. Miles, three-pointer over Chapman. No good. Rebound Harris.
With a leap like that, Miles is always open. It's kind of a David Thompson-like jumper.
Harris over to Groggins. Groggins pull up three. No good. Rebound Hicks. Hicks goes up court. Good crossover by Hicks. Nowhere to go. Chapman brings it. Chapman's going to go in for the slam. It's going to be blocked.
Foul called on Lee.
By Everett.
Give me on Everett. That's my book. Got 5 fouls. He's out of the game. Chapman does the right thing to drive in to try to draw the foul. That's a close play. We look forward to seeing that.
Looks like Everett might have picked up his fifth foul.
No, he did. Yep, he's out. Well, Everett disqualified with no points, but it looked like a great block. It's called for his fifth. Chapman to the line now.
So Chapman going in for the dunk.
Well, again, where we're seeing Wu-Bei, where these players try to individually do too much, like Hicks on that drive, they've got time on their side here. 4 minutes to go.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Chapman free throw is good.
Chapman now with 19 points. This will be his 20th if he cans the free throw.
Chapman reminds me of Ciante Melvin, a role player a few years ago who's now at Virginia State. They have similar games. He went to Radford and transferred to Virginia State, former Crabber.
He's very athletic. And really what you expect, kind of a true basketball player look. Now see a lot of the young guys in the back for the Phantoms.
Phoebus called the timeout as you had.
Yeah, you have White.
Yep. Yeah, White is sophomore.
White, and you have Edwards.
Yep.
So Miles not back there to help.
2-point game, Frank. Phoebus up by 2.
3:56 go. Well, we're seeing the individual talents from Chapman and from Miles leading their squad. I think it's going to come down to which big men play best here in the last 4 minutes. Johnson and Leach combined wonderful performance tonight. 20 points for those two. For Mitchell with 10, James Harris with only 1. So right now the two bigs for Phoebus outplaying the Hampton counterparts. Groggins with 2 and Hawkins with none. None for Avon Hawkins here going in the last 4 minutes, which is so unusual.
And Hawkins not being able to get his shot off. You know, his game is a spot-up shooter. He's not been able to get open enough to hit those shots.
A loud crowd here at Phoebus.
Cheerleaders having a little battle. The game within the game, Frank.
Yeah, this is what I saw the other night with Minfield Hampton. Having both sets of cheerleaders and a pep band really make a gym a loud place to be.
Absolutely. Steal by Harris. Harris goes in for the layup, and it's good off the glass.
That time,
this game is tied up.
Miles not paying attention. Keyshawn Johnson reached in. Keyshawn Harris, took it away. 3-1-1 press.
They trap White. White goes into, they go into Johnson. Johnson loses it. As Groggins falls, and they're going to call a foul on Groggins.
Well, it's clearly a foul on Groggins. I mean, he landed on his back. Groggins picks up, amazingly, his first.
Thought we were in a circus. Flip over each other. Good pump fake by Actually, Johnson lost it.
I think he lost his balance, too. Right after Groggins flipped over his back. Here comes Hawkins. See, Hawkins is the one that they've got to find it. Devone really The problem with coming in late with the Crabbers is you don't know these defensive schemes, and it is impossible to learn by watching. You got to get in there and play. So he's going to spell Mitchell and Harris. And here's Dominique Johnson, 6 points on the night.
Huge free throws here by Johnson. Johnson's first free throw, good. Nice touch by the big guy.
Oh, he's shown us a lot tonight. A lot of touch from the free throw line area.
Played
Good
his
shot of
first
Dominique
couple years
Johnson.
at Kickinton, transferred over to Phoebus.
Good looking young man for his second shot.
Second free
Short.
throw is missed. Rebound Chapman. Phoebus by 1, 3:24 left in the game.
Ryan Chapman.
And what did you expect, Frank? Another great game between these two teams. Devon, skip pass over to Groggins. Groggins directing traffic. Fakes.
Chapman wondering where the pass was, and Groggins, again, he's got to play play within himself. Got all the athletic skill in the world.
Devon sizing up. Johnson nowhere to go. Harris gets in the goal. He loses it, and it's going to be Hampton ball.
And here comes the other big men. Here comes Mitchell and Harris back. Devon and Groggins probably out.
Mitchell back into the game. Situational substitutions for the Crabbers. Keyshawn Harris inbounds.
Notice the Crabbers bring a stool just so they can have one guy talk to at all times at the end.
So Harris guarded by Hicks, the two seniors.
See, Harris has got he's got the advantage here, but you got Johnson to contend with in the middle.
Almost a steal by Hicks. Harris crossover has Leach, the bigger defender, on him. He calls a clear out.
Simeon White doing a nice job on Chapman.
Harris with a layup. He lulls you to sleep, Frank, and just goes right by you.
6 points in the fourth quarter for Keyshawn Harris.
47-46 Hampton. Timeout Phoebus.
James Daniels going to take a look at it. Coach Daniels has been doing this a long time, so he knows what he's going to do. He's trying to put in a play and get Miles back into this game. Antoine Miles, 8 in the third quarter, 3 here to start the fourth, and then hadn't scored since that, 7:26 mark in the fourth.
And Coach Daniel, you see the Hampton bench, Coach Brown.
Again, you got this veteran leadership here in our Hampton programs. We're so fortunate.
Great coaching.
All right, 2:16 to go. Phantoms bring the ball in. Miles gets the ball in the backcourt.
Almost the backcourt. Miles gets it into Leach. Leach high post. Pull up jumper by Miles. Good call. And you know what, Frank? Great call out of the timeout by Coach Daniel. You just talked about how great of a coach he was. Great draw up in the timeout. Harris, guarded by Hicks. Double screen for Harris. Harris pulls up for a 3 off the mark. White gets the rebound as Chapman tried to jar it away from him as Miles gets it with 1:44 left.
Well, I got to say, Dominique Johnson gets away with murder out there underneath. He hadn't been called yet.
Hicks for 3, no good. Rebound. Looks like Hampton knocks it out.
Johnson is just a one-man block out. And he just blocked out 3 Crabbers on that shot on the other end. Hawkins just cannot get the ball in a spot to shoot.
Hasn't been able to get open.
Groggins in on defense. It's Mitchell and Chapman. Great matchup right here. I mean, Miles on Chapman.
Chapman on Miles. Yep. As Hicks, 124 and counting, Frank. Phoebus by 1. White, good defense by Groggins. As White loses it almost over and back, and they're going to call a timeout Phoebus.
Dan's going to want to see that.
Almost a turnover there.
1:13 left in the game. Now's a great time to remind you to take some of that pressure.
So full timeout taken by James Daniels. Going to draw up a play again for Miles. Miles with 18 now. Keyshawn Harris with 6 in the quarter. Chapman with 5 in the quarter. Both teams finding scoring from different places tonight. They had 4 apiece at halftime.
Just like the first time, Frank. Game's going to come down to the last couple possessions. 48-47, Phoebus.
Yeah, the big question is, can you get Avon Hawkins a shot at a 3, a clean shot at a 3 tonight? He hadn't had one yet. He had one, it was a walk. And he made it, and it was a walk called. So can you get him that shot from the baseline? First, they got to play defense. For the Phantoms, they got all the time in the world, and they've got Antoine Miles, who's open anytime he's got the ball.
So it's going to be Phoebus ball. Goes in. Oh, dangerous pass. Miles gets it. Little crossover on Miles. 108 and counting. Double team by Hampton. Almost a steal. Miles gets it. It's tipped away by Mitchell. Harris has it.
That was Harris with the tip.
Now Hampton calls the timeout.
Yeah, James Harris with a tip.
Great
Again,
defense.
he and Mitchell just terrific underneath. That time, Miles a little bit out of control.
As Hawkins comes back in, Frank, this might be the play they call for him to get open.
As I said, the kid can hit a 3-pointer. Big rainbow shot. So they're going to try to work. Now you see Eric Brown with the dry erase board, drawing it up for a team. Over here for James Daniel, he knows he's known all night. He's done an excellent job guarding Avon Hawkins tonight. Now he's got to figure out what he's going to do. He's got Dorian Hill, who just pulled off his warm-up for the Phantom. Dorian Hill just pulled off his warm-up. So Hill may get some designated foul spot.
Well, he hasn't played much tonight. Actually, he hasn't played at all tonight. So for him to come in at a time like this, real interesting.
He doesn't check in. Hill in. Dorian Hill wearing number 10 does not check in, but he's in.
So 48-47, Frank. Crabber ball, 59 seconds left. Harris with the inbound.
And Hill designated to check Zion Chapman.
Harris, as they're going to call a foul on.
That's on Simeon White, his second. Only team 6 foul. So that was a designated foul. Eric Brown trying to warn up the crowd about the intentional foul call.
Harris, almost to backcourt. Harris gets it. They're going to double team on Harris. Harris, and they're going to get a steal. Everybody's diving on the floor. It's going to be.
They call timeout from out here. Interesting call position on that. But that's the last timeout for Phoebus by my book. 1 point lead for the Phantoms. They have the ball and no timeout. So here's James Daniel in the middle talking to his team.
His son, Frank, is at the University of Tennessee after transferring from Howard, playing pretty well there.
Fifth year, right? Fifth year senior.
Doing a great job at Tennessee, Knoxville.
Well, very pleased that I know he's pleased to have his son in the Southeast Conference. He was a great player here in high school, good dead-eye shooter, and really blossomed in college.
Yes.
If you get a chance, folks, to see him on television, do that.
Led the nation in scoring a couple years ago, Frank, in the Division I level.
Yeah, he can shoot the ball, always good. Young lady just went 3/4 of the court for the Crabbers. Let's see what the Phantoms have back. Nope, no time. So you notice the switch. Now Hill out, Dominique Johnson in. And the Crabbers going to guard Antoine Miles, force the ball to go into somebody else.
Hicks gets it. Oh, a dangerous play. It's White over to Miles. No foul yet. There's still no foul. And they're going to finally call a foul. They almost had a jump ball, Frank.
Eric Brown thought they were close enough to get mad about that. 1-and-1 for Miles. Miles 1 for 5 in free throws so far. So if he's got a weakness, this has been it tonight. Otherwise, a superb game by Antoine Miles.
Gonna be a 1-and-1, right?
1-and-1, and he's 1 for 5 in free throws. Good shot of Antoine Miles there from Steve Fryer. Thank you, Steve.
37 seconds left, Frank. 1-point game.
Yeah, while we're waiting here, I want to thank our crew. We've had some great coverage tonight in a very packed gym here at Phoebus.
Miles' first free throw is good. He gets the bonus. We got Steve Fry on camera, Susan Bowers, the veteran up top, Mr. Begoli.
Now watch Leach, and Leach gets taken out because last time he literally shoved Harris out of the way, no call. So James Daniel doesn't want to risk that. Here's Antoine Miles with his second free throw.
Second free throw is good. So three-point game. Phoebus up 3. Now they try to trap. They get Chapman. Chapman's gonna go to the goal. Kick out to Groggins. Groggins for 3. No good. Tip in by
No, not
Chapman's
tipped in.
no
Chapman
good.
made the
It's
tip,
gonna be a
no
foul.
tip. 14 is James Harris, picks up his second foul. So Groggins misses the open 3. Crabbers, I don't think have had many of those tonight.
He was open.
Chapman with 5 3-pointers. Nobody else with a 3-point shot tonight for the Crabbers.
So 23 seconds away from the Phoebus Phantoms clinching the district title outright.
So Leach to the line. Leach played a marvelous game tonight. He's got a 1-and-1. Nobody up to rebound for the Phantoms.
Leach, first free throw. Good.
He makes it. Big play by Leach tonight. Big free throw by Leach right there.
So it's a 4-point game, 23 seconds left.
Plenty of time, but the Phantoms trying to pull away and put it away.
Second free throw by Leach. Good. 5-point game.
16 for Leach tonight.
Chapman.
Chapman.
Left hand. Groggins.
Hawkins in the
Groggins
corner.
for 3. No good. Rebound
No,
Leach,
he had
and that
Hawkins
might do it.
wide open in the corner. I think it is going to do it. So Groggins with 2 3-pointers. That time, even Hawkins wide open in the corner, doesn't give it up. And it can't hit the bucket for the second time down the floor. Oh, for the second time tonight, we watched the Crabbers shooting fail them in the second half. The girls had the same problem in the first game, and the boys having that problem right here in the fourth quarter.
So the
Miles on the line.
The Phantoms get the season sweep, Frank, as they clinch the Peninsula District title tonight. As they're up 5 with 12 seconds left.
12 seconds remaining in regulation.
Chapman comes out. Miles on the line. Good shot of Antoine Miles. Great ball game. His second one is good.
Almost a steal is Harris.
21 for Miles.
Now Hawkins gets his shot, and he makes it.
But he got 6 seconds. Clock ran a little
5
bit
seconds
extra
left.
there. Yeah. Big Bob Hintz, Brent Musgrove, our veterans, the guys that showed us how to do it.
That's
Good to
right.
see both of them. So a 3-point ball game with 5.9 seconds left. Actually about 6, but who's counting? 6-3.
You know, Hawkins finally got open and hit a shot.
Right, and he was open in the corner there on that next to last play, and that hurt. Not getting the ball to him. You got to dance with the one that brung you, and Hawkins has brought him a long way this year. So you're going to have a quick foul. And I don't know who you foul. I mean, Miles is...
Maybe try to foul Johnson, maybe.
He's 4 for 9 is Miles, so under 50%. I'd foul somebody, yeah, like Simeon White or somebody that hadn't been to the line yet and put the pressure on them. Next time we'll bring chair backs here. We'll be sitting on a bleach under a table here.
Hopefully I can get up after the night. My back's.
It's a tough, awkward position here. All right, so the Phantoms trying to get the ball in. Travers trying to get a foul quickly.
Almost a 5-second call. If they get it up, and it's going to be
Groggins with the
gets the ball,
and he's
going to shoot a three.
And no
He's
call.
no call, and he was fouled.
No call, and I'm stunned. Well, that's how it's been for the Crabbers tonight. They'll certainly see it that way. The Phantoms fight hard and get the win here, 53-50. Very impressive performance by Antoine Miles. Great shooting by Zion Chapman tonight. Keyshawn Harris with an impressive fourth quarter, but not enough as Detion Leach, Dominique Johnson, and Antoine Miles score all the points for the Phantoms here in the fourth quarter, and they win it by 3. Wube, what do you think?
Came down to the last possession, Frank. You see, the game is never over. Turnover at the end. Groggins got a look. Maybe a foul. We don't know, but what a game.
Well, as they say, not a foul that's not called. About 3 3-pointers in the last 30 seconds and couldn't sink it. So the Crabbers fall by 3 to the Phantoms. Phantoms win the Peninsula District. And both teams, though, look like they're moving forward into the playoffs in a couple of weeks in good shape. Crabbers get their 2 guys back. A big loss for their rotation, so they get them back. They'll be okay. But the Phantoms look real strong, and Miles, anybody scouting him, how do you guard that man?
The thing I like about him, Frank, is he contains him. So he doesn't let the game. He lets the game come to him. Doesn't do too much. You saw first half, we were wondering why he wasn't shooting. He was just trying to pick his spots, and he did that in the second half.
He finished with 21. All right, well, that does it. Thanks to our crew here at Phoebus High School, bringing you all the cameras, of course. Renee Camden doing the service tonight. Matt Bagola getting us up. My nephew, Matt Buttwalter, Krista Campbell. Thanks for being with us. Good night from Phoebus.